How's it going, boxing fans? This is Liver185 here. This is my preview of the Juan Manuel Marquez KO'd Diaz fight, scheduled for 31st of July this year. It's going to be at the Mandalay Bay Resort Casino in Las Vegas for the WBO and WBA Super World lightweight titles, and also for the Ring Magazine title. Marquez is the Ring Magazine champion after beating Juan Manuel in 2008. And this is a rematch, actually, of an April fight of last year, which was, I thought, a fight of the year candidate. I thought, what's the other fight? Should I pick? I thought Martinez-Williams was the fight of the year, but a lot of people picked the Diaz-Marquez fight, which is an exciting fight. I'm not going to deny it. And just my thoughts first. I know that this fight is a little bit controversial because, one, it's on pay-per-view, and two, it's a rematch of a fight where the other guy got knocked out in the 9th round. But people, I mean, if you saw the fight and you saw the judges' scores, Diaz was winning. Actually, no, one guy had it tied. Another had Diaz winning by two rounds, and and another guy, Max DeLuca, had Marquez winning by 2 rounds. And there was 3 more rounds to go, aside from the 9th. So there was still time for either of them to make a comeback. Diaz was giving the veteran Marquez, and you all know Marquez, he's been through some hell of a wars, and I mean, it really was kind of like the young guy going against the veteran. Very Mexican crowd, and the fight was in Texas, and it was a very exciting fight, and Diaz was giving Marquez fits, believe it or not. You know, Diaz is kind of a limited boxer, but he does move well. His punches do have some bite to them, and he was hitting Marquez with some good shots, and he was frustrating him. And in my opinion, the only reason why Marquez won was because, I mean, yeah, he knocked the guy up pretty badly. That was a hell of a knockout. I was rooting for Marquez in the fight, but I was getting worried because, like I said, Diaz was giving Marquez fits, and the only reason why Diaz lost was because he got brave and started training with the veteran. And we all know Marquez ain't getting knocked out. That guy has a granite chin. He, traditional Mexican warrior, the spirit that he has, and he started trading with him. I guess he wanted to prove that he was just as Mexican, just as bravo, just as a man as him, and he started trading with him, and he got hit. He started getting slapped around, and uppercut knockout, he was done. And it was a hell of a victory, and and for him to knock out Juan Diaz, a young guy, that was a really good victory for Marquez. After the fight, he called out Floyd Mayweather, and then we all know what happened, and it was a very hurting experience for me to watch Marquez lose to Mayweather like that in that fashion. But anyways, also Juan Diaz, after the Marquez fight, moved up to junior welterweight, mainly because he knew that at lightweight he had very little to accomplish, or at least, I guess, to look for. He had a really good lightweight career, in my opinion. Some names: Jose Miguel Cotto. He had the WBA lightweight title for a while. Celino Freitas, Julio Diaz, the Nate Campbell unification match in Mexico, he lost by split decision. Then he won another fight against Michael Katsides by split decision. I thought Diaz won in that fight. That's a fight that could have gone either way, in my opinion. And then you had the Marquez fight, which he lost. Then he moved up to, like I said, 140 against Palma and Aji in Texas, and that was probably one of the controversial decisions of the year. And if I can just say, I thought Diaz won that fight. I thought it was a really close fight, but Malignaggi wasn't really hitting anything except the gloves. I thought Diaz did threw the more hit and connected with the more important punches. But again, that Gail Van Hoy score of 118-110 was bullshit, and nobody won that fight 118-110. And of course, there was a rematch at 138.5 catch weight in Chicago, neutral site, and Malignaggi won handedly 116-111, and it was a really bad fight for Diaz. And it's kind of, now that I look at it, it's actually really weird that two guys coming off of I guess one-sided losses, if you want to say, are in a title match pay-per-view. And I mean, I think you can make more of an argument for Marquez because one, he was the defending lightweight champion, and when he fought Diaz, and he was, you know, the Mexican veteran warrior, and the guy that he lost to was a guy two weight classes above him, and just happened to be arguably by some the best power for power fight in the world. So I guess we could kind of give him some leeway on that one. But Diaz went up, fought a French contender, Paulo Malignaggi. They both had a lot to prove. This was kind of a make it or break it match. Whoever lost was pretty much going to be written off for the rest of his career. And then, of course, we kind of saw more of that in the rematch, the Malignaggi-Diaz rematch, in which we saw that Diaz was beaten handily and Paulo Malignaggi went on to some slightly better things. But I don't like that it's pay-per-view. I mean, I don't have a problem with them having a rematch. It was good. It was a good fight. Hopefully this one can be just as exciting, if not more. But I really don't think it should be pay-per-view. But you know what? And I'm a Mexican, you know, I'm Mexican American, and us Mexican Americans, it don't matter if it's pay-per-view. I don't buy any Lion Fury cards. I fucking hate Chavez Jr. But I know a bunch of people that do buy them, and people are gonna buy this pay-per-view. It'll probably do at least 250,000 pay-per-views, if not more. I'm looking at it as maybe like 350 pay-per-views, because people saw how exciting the first fight was, and like I said, it's one's Mexican American, one of those Mexican going at it, so it should be a very good fight. Again, it's a title match for the Ring Magazine. It's for the undisputed lightweight champion, and whoever wins this fight, the WBO has ordered the winner to fight Marquez KO'd Diaz, who's just coming off a destruction of Kevin Mitchell, and that was just really fun to watch. Another baby of Frank Warren being destroyed. But anyways, I digress. My prediction for this fight is going to be I'm going to have to go with Marquez again, but I'm looking at it as a very, very, very close decision, maybe even a split decision. We might even see a controversial one in this one, because actually no, maybe not, because it's in Vegas, but you never know. But I wouldn't be surprised if Diaz wins. I can't see Diaz knocking Marquez out. I really can't. I can't admit that. I can't see that happening, but I do see Diaz trying to hustle Marquez, and maybe Marquez, you know, if he took a one-sided beating, I don't know how strong mentally he is. Hopefully he can bounce back. But we'll see what happens. Both guys coming off one-sided losses. They have a lot to prove. Marquez near the end of his career. Diaz trying to stay alive. Really, Diaz is barely keeping one nostril above water. So let's see what he can do here. But like I said, I think Marquez takes this by decision. Wouldn't be surprised if Diaz takes the decision, but I can't really see Diaz knocking Marquez out, and I can't see Marquez knocking Diaz out, maybe with a surprise punch, but I think Marquez takes it. So Marquez is a very good warrior. I think he doesn't get as much credit as his other Mexican counterparts like Morales and Barrera. And hopefully, if he wins this fight, I wouldn't want to see it because, one, I think Juan Manuel's already done. He's just kind of hanging on to his warrior spirit. All of it, as you know, he's taking a lot of wear and tear through his wars. And I don't think Pacquiao should. If I could just speak on it, I don't think Pacquiao should seek a third rematch with Marquez, because yeah, you know, it wouldn't be fair, because one, he's probably going to make him come up to welterweight, or he's going to make him come up to 140, and that ain't right. You know, I think Pacquiao should just accept that he was beaten both times, or that, you know, he was given hell both times. You know, if you're a Pacquiao fan, then you know he then just accepted that, you know, Marquez was Ali's Norden, you know, was his kryptonite, you know. So I think Marquez takes this Diaz fight, and you should catch it. It's going to be on HBO PPV. If not, look for a free stream or something. And feel free to post your comments, video responses, convince me otherwise. You think Diaz has enough to knock out Marquez? You know, go ahead and say. But hopefully this fight will be a very exciting one. It's going to be on July 31st, pay-per-view. I actually hear, let me just check real quick. I hear the undercard is going to be half decent. I hear they're thinking about putting Daniel Jacobs against this really good Russian prospect, or Eastern European prospect, and yeah, actually it is. Yeah, it's gonna. They're both two middleweight prospects, and yeah, he is Russian.
Congratulations, you've been selected to receive
Dmitry Pirog, And the undercard's going to be Jorge Linares against Rocky Juarez in a lightweight matchup. That should be interesting. Then we also have Golden Boys, the next Golden Boy, I guess, the next Golden Boy. Victor T supposed to be the next Golden Boy. Frankie Gomez in a light welterweight matchup. And then you have the return of Sergio the Latin Snake and Mora coming up from 154 after a long layoff. Fighting at middleweight against an unannounced opponent. So the undercard's pretty good. You know, and if you're not convinced by the main event of Diaz-Marquez, you should buy it for the undercard. This actually really is a really good undercard, depending on whose opponents Frankie Gomez and Sergio Moraes are facing. But it seems like a pretty good card, and I'm definitely going to buy this one. But yeah, anyways, July 31st, Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, Las Vegas. Diaz-Marquez 2 for the WBA, WBO lightweight and Ring Magazine championships.